Okay, so let's have a look at the image block. So add a block, pick image. So then we can do a number of different things with this. First off, getting the content in, you can click edit and then either drag and drop your file into here. You can do the same into this space as long as it's selected. Then you can select from library. So you can come and find one that you've already added to the site. So here we go. Let's just go and bring this one in. Perfect. We can then see it's given the file name. We could override this should we want to do that. And then the alt text. So if you're not familiar with, this is where the screen reader will then read out for those that will benefit from it from an accessibility perspective. It will read out the image, but you need to tell it and describe the image itself. And obviously you can be more descriptive than this, but you can do that. And then you could attach a link. So you could link this to other places around the site. So here we go. We'll just link that here. So we've linked our image. Now let's have a look at design. If I just do this a second, you can see that there are some big gaps either side. Now, that could be great, but if you want the images all to be the exact size of this box, then you can press fill, which then helps if you've got images of various different sizes, that it can all fill that exact same space. Or you can then put it in a shape. So I can then put a mask around it. So it's essentially keeping the exact same image, but it's then putting this shape over the top, otherwise known as a mask. And then you can change it here, and you can do all sorts of wonderful things inside of that. Inside of there, you can do other things like some image effects. And if you just hover your mouse over here, it will tell you what that is. So you can do this sort of thing. For example, you can see that the image is really subtly just moving as I'm scrolling. So that's that subtle parallax effect. You can dial it in by then coming into the settings, changing some of this, changing the zoom, etc. If you don't want any of that, then just hit none. But you can dial in any of these on the settings for this, and then you can do like a shuffle version as well of the settings. Then you could put an overlay, so that's sticking this color over the top. Again, you could change the color itself. You could do anything here and then change the opacity. So that's doing this. None of this is affecting the original image itself. You are just tweaking things, and then you've got this blend mode where you can do all sorts of different things in here. So you've got that available to you, but then let's just take all of this off and just come back to the beginning. So we've got this. The final thing is you could put some corner radius or radiuses on it. So here we go. We can do some border radiuses on that. Now that's doing it on every single corner. But if I click onto this, then I could do it just on a few corners. So I could have some that have it like square at the top and then just curly at the bottom. So you can do something like that. Let's just come back into here, and then let's just revert this back to be 0. And then you could do things like layering. So you could layer your blocks, and you could then duplicate them as well. The other nice thing is that you've got this gold around the outside. So then that's helping me size it so that they are all the exact same size, whether I'm seeing this on the page, like, or if let's say I'm doing it on mobile and it's not quite so obvious because I might see them, I can't see them quite right. And let's say it started off like this. I want to make sure they're all the same size. Then there we go. I can just do this. So it then just helps you have a little clue like that. So you've got your images, you can then layer them over the top. Layering them, for example, only once the blocks overlap do you have these controls coming in. So you can then move it forward or backwards. And you can do this using any of the other block types and be able to put the layers on. So that is the image block and what you can go and do with it.